Rishati Putram Atrasurupam Rupam Tasya Gajamuri Purim Maturim Goswaritim Radha Kundagiram Ahurarika Madhvasam Shrakto Yasya Patita Kripaya Shri Guru-Tattva Gurave Gaurachandraya Dharikaitraya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Nunam Ananda Gilamaya Vigrahaya Hema Bhadivyaschami Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Sham Sundar Shikhandashika Smaha Sumuli Manora Radhika Sukamama Kripanidhi Supriya Charna Kinkarim Puru Tavevasmi Tavevasmi Najivami Tayana Tirikaya Devitam Namam Charantikam. First of all, I offer my sustained Dandavat Puspanji in my heart like flowers thousands and thousands of times at the lotus feet of my holy master, my supremely worshipable spiritual guru. Asmadya Pramaradhatama Guru Padapani Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupada Ashtodara sat-sisya Rupanugacharya Varya Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Narayana Goswami. Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Guru's Guru and his Guru and his Guru and all the great acharyas in our Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Parampara. And finally, I offer my pranam to all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, my very dear brothers and sisters. Excuse me, I don't speak German. But if you need translation, Krishna Chandra is here in this corner, making simultaneous translation. This morning, I am reminded of the first time I was invited to come to Switzerland by our most beloved Krishna Chandra. He said, "Oh, don't speak about Guru-Tattva." So, at that time apparently it was not so popular subject matter. So, you may remember once Prajapati Daksha, he had so many thousands of sons. And he asked Narad Muni to become their teacher. But by hearing Harikatha from Narad Muni, they all became mad. And they left everything and they just wanted to do bhajan. So then Prajapati Daksha was quite upset. Because he wanted his sons to populate his Prajapati. He wanted his sons to populate the universe. So then he had another 60,000 sons, the Shabalashkas. And he told Narad, don't tell to them what you told to the other sons. So then they all went in the Gurukul of Narad Muni. And after some time they became mad, they wanted to love Krishna. And they also left everything. Again, Daksha Maharaj was very upset. And he came to Narad Rishi, he said, oh, why did you tell them that Harikatha? Narad Muni said, what could I do? It's the only katha I know. You could not tell them Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, any of these things. So, Krishna Thakur told me, don't speak about Guru-Tattva that time. But what could I do? Anyway, I told. That's subject. Narad Vyas Samvad, the conversation between Narad and Vyas, is especially about Guru-Tattva. Why? Why does it sometimes become unpopular? Sometimes because the tradition of Guru is misused. Yet the misuse of any tradition does not diminish the importance of the subject matter. And another reason is because sometimes it becomes the cause of conflict between different groups of people who have different gurus also. But that also should not make an obstacle. If we understand, Guru-Tattva is one. There is only one Guru. That is Sri Krishna himself. Sakshat Vitvayana Samasta Shastre. And he appears in many different forms to guide the living entities. Some living entities may be attracted to one spiritual master, others to another, in accordance with their own swabhav, their nature, and the necessity of what they need. I remember once, I was walking with my Gurudev. We were in a festival. It was being held for 1 week in a Franciscan monastery in San Diego, California. So, Srila Gurudev was walking, and there was one monk in the garden there, and he was tending to the garden. That was his devotional service. Taking care of the garden of the monastery. So as he saw Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Narayana Maharaj walking towards him with a group of devotees, he could see his spiritual influence, his spiritual effulgence. And he could understand, this is a holy man. So he put down he stopped digging, he put down his tools. And he approached him and very humbly, he said, I believe that you are a holy man. So please tell me, what should I do with my life? So then Srila Gurudev, very gravely, he told him, try to be like a Jesus Christ. And when he heard this, then that monk, he started to cry. And he was very deeply moved. Afterwards, Srila Gurudev said, don't molest the faith of any living being. In whichever way they have faith in God and their Guru, this Shraddha is sacred. The Shraddha which is in my heart, and in your heart, and in your heart, and your heart, is the same goddess, Bhakti-Devi. And if one would try to injure the Shraddha of another person, that is making injury to your own Shraddha. And Bhakti-Devi, the goddess of devotion, will vacate your heart, leaving you empty. Srila Gurudev said, don't try to preach to others. Try to make friends. And naturally, when you have affectionate and friendly relationship, then the person will ask, what are you doing? What is that little bag you have? What do you think about God? Because unless there's a relation and affection, then the confidential things, they cannot be understood. They cannot be transmitted. Affection, especially, it grows day by day by seva, by service. Even Sri Krishna himself, when he was a boy, he had to go to Gurukul, and he stayed in the ashram of Sandipani Muni. Later in his life, Krishna was thinking, oh, by the blessing of Gurudev, all the knowledge of the Vedas is ever fresh. And he met with his old school friend, Sudama Brahman, and they reminisced how they used to serve their spiritual master together. Sri Krishna said, Naham nija prajatibhyam tapasa upasamena cha tustyayam sarvabhutatma guru susrusayo yata. Hey Sudama, I am not so pleased by those who perfectly follow all the rules and regulations of Varnashram Dharma. I am not as pleased by those who engage in archana and puja to the deities. I am not as pleased by those who make very elaborate study of all the Vedic scriptures, by those who do austerities and dhyana, meditation. Even I am not as pleased by those who go into samadhi as I am pleased, Guru Susrusayoyata, by one who listens to the words of their spiritual master, and with their whole life, enthusiasm and energy, they try to serve their spiritual master and his vichardhara, the current of his conception. Serving the current of the conception of my spiritual master. This is manobhishta seva. Fulfilling the innermost heart's desire. Therefore we glorify Srila Rupa Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam, Sthapitam Yena Bhutale. Srila Rupa Goswami is our supermost acharya because he served the most cherished innermost desire of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yasya sakshat bhagavati jnana deepa pradey garo matya saddi shutam tasya sarvam kunjar sochavat. Sri Shukadeva Goswami, he said, one should see that the spiritual master, even though he is Vaishnava, servant of Krishna, simultaneously, without any contradiction, one should also superimpose the vision that he is directly the Supreme Lord himself. By material logic, a person cannot be two things. But in Guru-Tattva, you see, our spiritual master is a devotee and a very dedicated disciple of his Guru. And simultaneously, one should see Yasya Sakshat Bhagavati, directly, this is one form in which Supreme Lord Sri Krishna has come, Prachanda Vigraha, a hidden form, in which to extend the loving hand of mercy to us and guide us and bring us out from material existence. However, Mata Sati, if you have asadi, a material conception towards the spiritual master, thinking he is Marta, an ordinary mortal being, a soul who has been forced to take birth in a physical body and is undergoing the reactions of his karma like everyone else, then Srutam Tasya Sarvam Kunjara Sochavat. All one's studies of the Vedas, of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, they're all useless like the bathing of an elephant. You know, elephant takes bath in the river, but then as soon as they come out, they throw dust all over themselves. So in the same way, you can study Bhagavad Gita. Bhogaishvarya prasaktanam thayaparta chetasam yavasai vatmika buddhi samadana vidiyate. For those whose minds are attached to sense gratification and opulence, then they cannot develop the resolute purpose by which they can attain the state of samadhi. You can learn it. But as soon as opportunity for sense gratification appears, then Bhagavad Gita disappears from our memory. Why? Because bhav, chid bhav, spiritual strength. When the disciple, with great affection and self-sacrifice, serves his spiritual master, he becomes imbued with the chid bhav, spiritual strength, sandhini shakti, by which the chitta becomes sthir, sthirata buddhi, steady intelligence. And in the sthir chitta, when the disciple will chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Then the beautiful divya, prakrita, transcendental, supernatural swarupa of Sri Krishna is easily reflected upon the heart of the disciple. So Sri Krishna said to Sudama Brahman, Eita deva hi sat-sisyai kartavyam guru niskritam yadvai vishuddhabhavena sarvat atmarpanam guru. O Sudama, those who are sat-sisya, that means authentic disciples, true disciples, not fake disciples, artificial disciples, for show disciples, but sat-sisya, who have an eternal relationship with their holy master. They understand kartavyam guru niskritam. It is their duty in life to repay the divine gifts that their holy master has bestowed upon them. Actually, the disciple cannot repay. So we have to try every day and keep trying forever. How can he repay? Or try to repay? Yadvai vishuddhabhavena, with a very pure heart. Niskapat, nishsvarta, without selfishness and without duplicity. Sarva artha atmanarpanam guru. He should offer all of his wealth, everything he has in this world, and even his very soul, body and soul, everything in the service of the spiritual master. Why? our acharyas have commented. Perhaps you know that aham mamadi paramo namni sopya paradikrit. The 10th offense to the holy name of Krishna is to maintain a sense of I and mine towards our material body, mind and possessions. It's the 10th offense to the holy name. And therefore, unless one offers everything in the service of Guru, all wealth, body and mind, then one cannot give up the sense of I-ness and mine-ness towards them and cannot become free from Namapara. Then his Nam Sankirtan is not Shuddha, not pure, not even Nam Abhas. For this reason. So Srila Narottam Das Thakur has said, Prema Bhakti Jahoiti Avidya Nashriyati Vedigai Charito Vedigai Charito. He was remembering his spiritual master, Lokanath Das Goswami. He said, oh Gurudev, Vedigai Jahara Charito. The glories of the spiritual master have been sung throughout the Vedas. This is very important line to appreciate. You see, Srila Narottam Das Thakur, indeed all our acharyas, Srila Vishnacharya Thakur, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, from their childhood they were raised in Vedic culture. They have heard the Katha of the Vedas, the Upanishads, Shruti, the original Vedas, and they are established in that. Then, on the foundation of this, one can progress into the more esoteric aspects of spiritual life. But we see very often in the modern times, persons without any foundation and grounding in Shruti, in the Vedas, they try to enter into the esoteric subjects, but it is quite impossible. In Bhakti-Rasamrita Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami describes 64 angas of bhakti. And the first 20 angas, he said, these are called Pravesh Dwara, the door to enter. In other words, without observing them very meticulously, then one cannot enter into the primary angas, the main limbs, such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam and so on. So it begins, Guru Pada Shraya Diksha, Guru Rasevan, Sadharma Precha Shiksha Sadhu Maganugaman. First, taking shelter of the spiritual master, receiving initiation, rendering service, all of these things prepare us to enter into the door of bhakti. That door is nishta, steadiness. All the stages, adoshrada, sadhusanga, bhajana, kriya, nata, nivritti, these are only gradually coming towards the door. And after nishta, then shuddha bhakti, pure devotion. That shuddha bhakti is pratyaksha-avagamam dharmyam, susukam kartamabhyaya. It is pratyaksh. It is a direct experience. Always chanting, hearing, remembering produces bhakti parisha anubhavo virakti. Parisha anubhav, realization. So if, as we engage in hearing and chanting, the flow of realization is not coming, then we have to think that I am in that stage when I am still approaching the door. So for that, especially, Guru Seva is necessary. Vedigai Jaha Charito. In the Vedas, many histories have been given to help us understand the relation between Sri Guru and sat-sisya. The examples of Upamanyu, Aruni, Udalak, and Domya Rishi. The examples of Nachiketa and his guru Yamaraj. The examples of Indra and Virocha. Satyakama and Gautam Rishi. So by hearing these histories from the Upanishads, we get a properly adjusted perspective on how to enter into the esoteric dimension of spiritual life. I want to tell one example. Once there was a widower, and she had a small boy. Her name was Java, and her son's name was Satyakama. So when he became about 5 years old, this boy, he was very enthusiastic. He wanted to accept a spiritual master and stay with brahmacharis in an ashram and learn about the truths of life. So he came to his mother and he said, "Oh mother, I want to stay in the ashram with the other students. So please tell me, what is my gotra?" Gotra is your family line. So you have to tell your guru before you move in the ashram, what is your family line? So, "Oh mother, please tell me, what is my gotra?" Her mother embraced her son. She said, "Oh Vatsa," means my dear little calf. I don't know what your gotra is. You see, when I was young, she was not from Brahmin caste, she was from a low caste, she was a maidservant. Said, when I was young, I served in so many households of aristocratic persons. And in the course of my serving in so many households, I attained you. So, I cannot say what is your gotra. And so I suggest, when your Gurudev asks you, you should just say that your mother's name is Java and your name is Satyakama, and you don't know what is your gotra. So the boy heard this. You are laughing because it's an embarrassing situation. But the boy was saral, simple. He just heard it with a pure heart, and then he set off to the Gurukul. So he arrived there, and there he saw Gautam Rishi, and he gave pranam to him. Gautam Rishi said, "Oh young man, what is your gotra?" He said, "Oh Gurudev, I don't know what is my gotra. When my mother was young, she was serving in so many households. And in the course of that service, she attained me. So my name is Satyakama, the son of Java." So then Gautam Rishi, he smiled. He was very happy. He said, "One who is not a Brahmin cannot speak the truth so openly with such simplicity. Because this is the symptom of this is Brahmata. The quality of being a Brahmin is truthfulness, honesty, straightforwardness. So you should go and collect some firewood for your sacrifice, then come back and I'll give you initiation. Perform your Upanayan sanskar." So then the boy went away and he collected wood, and Gautam Rishi, Swaha Swaha, Om Prajapati Vishnu Rishi Gayatri Chanda Shri Vishnu Devata Upanayane Yoga. And he chanted all the mantras and gave the sacred thread to Satyakama. So then, after that, Gautam Rishi gave him some responsibility. It's very important. One cannot come, take initiation, and go home. This is nothing. After initiation, one should accept a heavy responsibility in the service of the spiritual master upon one's head. My Gurudev used to say, a human being without responsibility is an animal. How will we become purified? How will we become selfless and understand the meaning of sacrifice if we have a very blasé and relaxed life without any responsibility? This is impossible. So Gautam Rishi told him, in my Goshala, there are 400 cows, and they are not in good health. They are quite sickly. So I want you to take care of my cows. So then, Satyakama, he set off to the Goshala, and he saw the state of the cows. He thought, they cannot be healthy here. If they'll go out very far into the hills and the mountains and get lots of fresh grass and exercise, then they'll become healthy. So he took all the cows and he set off into the forest and mountains. And as he was leaving, he made a vow. He said to himself, I will not return until the herd of my Gurudev is 1,000 healthy, strong cows and bulls. So he set off into the forest. And for many, many days he was there, taking care of the cows and bulls. Oh, some years went by, and one day he came up to a bull, and he was patting the bull. And then the bull said to him, oh, don't you know that now our herd is 1,000 strong? So it's time to return to the ashram of the Acharya. And then that bull began to instruct Satyakama. The Vedas say that the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are understood in 4 parts. Ekpad Vibhuti is the opulence of the Lord related to this world, and Tripad Vibhuti, that is 1/4 related to this world, and Tripad Vibhuti, 3 aspects related to the spiritual world. So the bull began to instruct Satyakama in 1/4 of all Vedic knowledge, Ekpad Vibhuti. Now, you're all inside, oh yeah, story with talking animals. But actually, it was not the bull that was talking to him, but rather it was Vayudev, one of the devatas, the demigods. Vayudev, the god of wind, he had entered into the bull and was instructing Satyakama through that bull. And he told him, tomorrow Agni Dev will instruct you in the 2nd quarter of the Vibhuti of the Supreme Being. So then, the next day, Satyakama got up and he was driving the herd back in the direction towards his Gurudev's ashram. And when the evening came, he stopped the herd, and it was cold, and he lit a fire. So when he lit the fire, then the fire began to speak to him and instructed him in the 2nd part of Vibhuti. In the end, Agni Dev, who was speaking to him through the fire, he told him, oh, tomorrow Surya Dev will instruct you in the 3rd part. So the next morning he got up and he was bringing the herd of cows back towards the ashram of Gautam Rishi. Along the way, he saw a very beautiful swan flying in the sky. And the swan descended and then began to speak to him. And Surya Dev was instructing him through the swan in the 3rd Vibhuti. Then next day, he was traveling towards the ashram again, and the Pran Devata, the presiding deity of Pran, he appeared to him in the form of a beautiful white goose. And now his instruction in all the 4 quarters of the vibhutis of God, that instruction was complete. And then the next day, he arrived with all the cows back at the ashram of Gautam Rishi. So when Gautam Rishi saw that his disciple had returned, he looked at him. And only by looking at him, he could understand that he had received Divya Gyan. Divya Gyan, transcendental knowledge, is the fruit of Seva and Sravanam. Rendering service and hearing, the fruit of these two combined together, is called Divya Gyan. So Gautam Rishi, just looking in his eyes, he could understand. Oh, my disciple has attained a Divya Gyan. So then he wondered, how did it happen? So he asked him, who has given you Upadesh? Instructions. Satyakama. He said, oh Gurudev, it was not any human being. And I have also heard that if one hears Upadesh, instructions, directly from the lips of one's Acharya, one's spiritual master, then he becomes Siddha, perfect in those instructions. So Gurudev, please instruct me. Then Satyakama, again, whatever he had heard from Vayu, from Agni, from Surya, and from Pran Devata, all these things he heard again directly from the lips of his own spiritual master. And then Satyakama himself became Siddha. He became an Acharya. And in the future, from that point, other personalities came to him and they also became great rishis. They received Divya Gyan, transcendental knowledge. They became perfect by his mercy. So, we find this story in the Upanishads. Vedigai Jahara Charito. It has a very deep meaning. The first teaching is that one does not become Brahman by birth. It is by vritti, by our behavior, by our swabhav, by our nature, by lakshana, by our virtues, one can become Brahman. And the prominent virtue of the Brahman is sarlata, simplicity, nishkapata, being free from pretense, free from pretension. Then, the next teaching. When Satyakama received his Upanayan Sanskar, initiation, he could have said, Gurudev, I came here to your ashram to realize Parabrahma. So I'm going to sit down here and do dhyan, meditation, until I realize Parabrahma. This is not the teaching of the Vedas. For a disciple to superimpose upon his Gurudev what sadhana he will do, how he will become perfect. This is durbuddhi, only wickedness. Especially one may think, how can I realize the teaching of the Vedas by serving cows? Or whatever other service the spiritual master gives to the disciple. So this is all durbuddhi, wickedness of mind, all duplicity. But rather, we should learn from Satyakama that when the spiritual master gives us service, that we take it and not also only do the bare necessities. He could have said, I'll go to the Goshala and look after these 400 sick cows. But he didn't. He said, I'll serve them in such a way that they all become healthy and the herd should become 1,000. He wanted to expand. He wanted to increase the prosperity of his spiritual master with great enthusiasm. Yeah. So, disciple should have that mood, that attitude. So when he was out in the forest and he was absorbed in serving his spiritual master, he didn't have too much time for studying. But what happened? Because he was serving his spiritual master, all the demigods in the universe began to appear to him. And in his daily life, through his daily experiences, they were giving him all transcendental instructions. So don't think that the disciple who is engaged in practical and menial services to his spiritual master will be devoid of knowledge. Impossible. Those who are devoid of menial, humble service to the spiritual master will be devoid of knowledge. Because though they can study, but they cannot understand anything. Srila Vishnu Thakur has raised one question. That in Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukadeva Goswami has not spoken directly about the sweet pastimes of Krishna everywhere in Srimad Bhagavatam. You'll find many of the topics. Atrasaga, Visagascha, Sthanam, Posham, Uttaya, Manvantari, Shanukata, Viroda, Mukti, Ashraya. There are 10 topics of Srimad Bhagavatam, and one of them, Ashraya, is the pastimes of Shri Krishna. But there are so many discussions about creation of the universe and so on. So why did Shukadeva Goswami do that? Srila Vishnu Thakur, and surely if you hear about the creation of the universe and these things, this is Maya. So then you'll go in Maya because you're hearing and chanting about Maya, illusion. So Srila Vishnu Thakur said, no. There are two reasons why Srila Shukadeva Goswami has given a very balanced and comprehensive explanation of many subjects leading to the sweet and beautiful pastimes of Shri Krishna. The first one is this. If you only discuss this world, the elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether, and the three gunas and reincarnation, you'll go in Maya. But Srimad Bhagavatam discusses all of these things in relation to the Supreme Lord. How Sri Krishna expands as Balaram, how Balaram expands as Mool Sankarshan, how Mool Sankarshan expands as Mahasankarshan, how Mahasankarshan, from him comes Mahavishnu, and so on. And how each element manifests, but not mechanically, only by the glance, by the wish of the Supreme Lord. Each aspect, each component of the existence we see around ourselves comes into being. So, when there is a discussion of Maya, the material energy, in relation to Shri Krishna, that itself is not Maya, but actually gives you protection from Maya. And if you will not hear it, then Vivek, the power of discrimination between reality and illusion, will not be awakened. Srila Sanatana Goswami in Srimad Bhagavatam, he said, you can practice bhakti, but until your Vivek, power of discrimination, awakens, it will not be Shuddha Bhakti. It will not be pure. It will be Mishra, mixed up with many misconceptions. And the second reason why Shukadeva Goswami has explained things other than directly the sweet pastimes of Shri Krishna is because people in general are not qualified to understand them. But he adds that, however, if a person has really pleased the heart of his spiritual master and received the blessing of Shri Guru, then he becomes empowered to understand what is the true nature. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tattvataha chaktvadeham punajanma netimam etisvara. See, Krishna said, if one really understands in truth the nature of my divine lila, then you will never take birth again in this world. What does that mean? The stage of bhav. From the stage of bhav, then you can realize the true nature. Then one will take birth in next life in Krishna's lila. Another teaching. Another important teaching. First it was that simplicity is a prerequisite, honesty and sincerity. Second teaching, to be seva parayan, absorbed in service. And third teaching, dina chitta. Dina chitta means that one feels oneself to be most unqualified, most wretched, and most fallen. And that was exemplified by Satyakama. Because when he returned to his spiritual master's ashram, even though he had received divya gyan, transcendental knowledge from all the devatas, his guru asked him, "Oh, are you enlightened? From whom have you heard?" He said, "No, Gurudev. I don't know anything. I want to hear from you." He did not think, I know better than my spiritual master. I want to hear from you. Then when he heard from Gautam Rishi, he became Siddha, perfect Acharya, and qualified to be a conduit, a channel for the current of a Nitya Amnaya, the eternal perfect flow of Vedic knowledge, Nitya Amnaya. So, when there is a Guru Parampara, where the Guru is enlightened, and the disciple is saral, niskapa, free from duplicity, seva parayan, absorbed in service, and dina chitta, then there is the current of knowledge, that is srotapanta, the path of hearing, and through that channel, transcendental knowledge descends. Otherwise, if there's Guru, and he gives initiation to a disciple, he gives initiation to a disciple, he gives initiation to a disciple, there's no guarantee of Nitya Amnaya. There's no guarantee of Shrotapanta, the actual current of divine realization. Therefore, Srimad Thakur said, Vedigai Jaha Charito. O Gurudev, the glories of spiritual master are found throughout the Vedas. So I wanted to give a few more examples, but time has run out and I have to follow Krishna Chandra's instructions to stick very strictly to the schedule. So we'll complete our katha this morning here. And I think at 12:30 I will begin my seminar on Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the life and teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And if sometimes in the morning I have to speak, it will be something, whatever random idea comes in my mind on that day. But today is the first day of the festival. There are so many tattvas to realize. Maya Tattva, Jiva Tattva, Bhakti-Tattva, Leela-Tattva, Krishna-Tattva, Rasa-Tattva, Radha-Tattva. But unless we understand first Guru-Tattva, then all the others are inaccessible. And if Guru-Tattva is, if we can assimilate it and live it in our life, then the door to all the other tattvas, Krishna-Tattva, Radha-Tattva, Leela-Tattva, Rasa-Tattva, that door becomes open. Gaur Premanande